said run when you hear that. You better run when you hear that. I said run when you hear that. You better run when you hear that. I said run when you 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 hear that. I said you better run. I said run when you hear that. Run when you hear that. You better run. I said run when you hear that. Run when you hear that. Run when you hear that. Run when you hear that.
Good evening, everybody. Bruce Foster, chewing the fat. Welcome to tonight's show. And shortly we'll get Kylie Elmers on, our guest. That video you just seen there is an old favourite of mine from a number of years ago. These guys have been going for a while. They were kind of the trendsetters for the 360 cameras and all the kind of action-packed type videos that you can get. The crew over in Norway, in Stavanger. Jet Ski Crew Stavanger is the name, and the gentleman in question for that video is HD Screener X on YouTube. Look them up. They got a heap of videos that are really good to watch, and some great soundtracks on them. So let's go straight to our guest. We'll get our guest on first. I'm sure, hopefully she's waiting for us. So let me just get things dialed up, and we'll go from there. Now, I hope everybody's had a great week. Leave your comments in the chat section, and hopefully Kylie is ready to join us, and she hasn't got her times mixed up. She's down in Victoria. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Hopefully she's got a video. I don't even know if she's joining now, so fingers crossed it fires up. Now, let me just go over to the chat. Kylie, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Not bad. Give me a second and let me just. I need to find the window that you're actually on because it should have popped up, but it hasn't. I checked this earlier on and it was meant to come up, and for some reason it decides to do a brain fart. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There we are. Now let me just adjust this picture. You're off screen. It's not your fault, Kylie.
Right.
I'll just adjust things here. There we go. Beautiful. Let's make you a little bit bigger so people can see you. You look quite small there. Oh.
Yeah, that's good. Man, small.
All right, there we go. That's perfect. All right, so how are we?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I can't remember. I'm playing around here with things, and there we go. That's it. There we go. People know who you are now. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just a bit busy with all this podcasting and streaming type of stuff. I've got a big event coming up on Saturday, so that's going to keep me on my toes. But yeah, I'm more interested in what you're doing. No, you seem to be doing a few. You're kicking goals.
Yeah, I guess I'm. I just do what I normally go about doing. I've been doing it for 20 odd years, so yeah.
Now there will be some people that watch have never met you. They've maybe heard your name mentioned a couple of times here and there, but introduce yourself and give people a little bit of yourself and what got you into jet skiing.
Excuse me. I'm just getting over a flu. Okay, so my name's KYLIE ELLMERS. I've been racing and working on jet skis for over 20 years. I first got into jet ski, my life started as an infant, being dragged off to a speedway track with my parents in New Zealand. I think my first race meeting was at 3 weeks old. My mum was a lap scorer and my dad raced. So, and we're in a small beach town.
Yep.
Basically, you either were at the beach or you were racing cars, and jet skiing came to be a good combination of both.
Certainly has. It's funny because everybody I get on, they've always had that upbringing around racing or skis or whatever. Oh.
Yep, sorry.
Are you okay? I thought you fell off your chair there.
No, it was the phone.
Oh, you got your phone balanced. It looked like you just took a tumble there. I was like, oh, I hope you're all right.
No, I'm fine. It'd take a lot more than that.
Sorry. Yeah, so everybody seems to have a bit of a racing background, so you're no different. It wasn't, what did you say it was, karting?
I started with speedway. So we're just dirt track.
All right, okay.
Yep.
Yep. Speedway. See, I'm used to the gravel tracks that you get in the UK for speedway, but I guess anything goes over here. Would that be fair to say?
Not too dissimilar, because it is a dirt gravel track in New Zealand as well. It is very similar.
Right. Okay. Now, one burning question: what nationality do you regard yourself as?
New Zealander, same as my passport.
Right, okay, fair enough. Because for some obscure reason, Australia seems to want to claim you for their own. So I don't know.
No, it's probably a fair comment because I have been here for over 20 years. I probably raced in New Zealand with jet skiing for about 6 years, and then I've been in Australia for just over 20. Right. So it is probably a fair enough comment. And when I go somewhere, it's gotten to the stage now where I'm not phased either. However, my passport still remains New Zealand.
So when you represented who at the last round of the World Cup? What was that? Was it New Zealand or was it Australia? I can't remember, to be honest, what flag it was.
On the scoring for the first time, it came up Australia, and that was due to my address. Normally, I do actually change it. I do actually say to them New Zealand, but I actually had some things going on at the same time, some family things, and then I also got the flu that week. Right. So I was check. So I never actually had a chance to look at it until somebody commented, "Oh, really?" Like online to me, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." I know. I was just too busy to change it. And to be fair, I mean, Australia probably deserves some credit. I've spent a lot of my racing life in Australia.
Listen, Kylie, between non-Australians here, let's not give them too much credit. I always find it funny because there's just people like even musicians and artists, and people like Colin Hay, for example, Jimmy Barnes. These people, I know obviously they're from Scotland, but they've obviously spent most of their life here. And if it wasn't for them growing up here, then they wouldn't probably have the success that they've had. So I guess, yeah, in that way we would give Australia some credit. But do you ever get a chance to get back to New Zealand and race much?
I haven't raced there since COVID, and I haven't actually raced there a lot. I used to go back, but probably in the last 10 years, I haven't actually raced there a lot, just due to I've had a lot on the international calendar, and I race a couple of different types of racing, and because I race stand up and runabout, as well as a couple of different codes and travel around, it is actually really hard to get back. So yeah, not so much. Not from lack of wanting to, it's just lack of timing. And sometimes it's just good to spend time at home. Sometimes it's just good to put your feet up and go, wow, I'm not traveling or I'm not doing this.
Yeah, my God, because you're clocking up the air miles.
Yeah, so I definitely do clock up the air miles.
What have you done? You've done the 3 rounds so far of the World Cup, haven't you?
No.
Did you do Poland and France?
I didn't race in France. The boat I was going to ride was actually sold. I didn't send my own one. So
that was rude.
No, that's fine. And sometimes I actually look. Last year I was going quite well, but it depends. When you're not on your own equipment, sometimes, and as much as people want to help you out and give you things, it can go wrong, and it does go wrong, and it can be quite expensive replacing parts that aren't even yours.
Yep.
So sometimes you fully commit to something or you don't. Now, in America was the first, because I also work with teams and races, I was in France with friends and and a team. Now, in America, I had my ski there, which we built last year, which Cedo had helped us with. So that was great. And then we built it. And then Les and Anthony Raddick, they won the Mark Hahn on, and it was been in storage. So it was easy to turn up, take the kit out of storage.
Was that the same ski?
Yes. Yep. We just pulled it.
All right. Okay. Yep. I believe that was all down. I believe that victory was down to Les, though. Not Ant. Nothing to do with Ant. Ant just had to hold on.
Yeah, that's it. No, definitely Ant had to do a lot of work. He was it was quite.
He was behind, wasn't he?
the race looked flat, and it was rough out the back. So no, they did well, and then that boat was put back into storage anyway, and so we turned up to America this year because I was actually supposed to go instead of Les, but I wanted to go to the Phuket race, which I ended up breaking. So I said, "Oh, Les, you go, and I'll go to Phuket." Well, so
right, okay.
He did me well because in America, excuse me, the night before there seemed to be a really bad flu virus, whichever went through the pits, and I had tried to the night before. Changing a rider, getting somebody else to ride for me. Now, we come Saturday morning, we turned up with the ski, but the rider that was going to ride for me was sick as well, which left me to do it. And I wasn't really looking forward to it at all. It was probably the first race where I've gone, really, I don't think I can do this. And anyway, we pulled through, and the boat went well anyway. That's all I've got to say.
Is that the one the race, the enduro race? You got second, wasn't it?
Yes.
that one? Yeah. Well done. Yeah. Now, congratulations on that one.
Yeah, thank you.
How now? What's your preferred event? Is it the enduros?
I actually, yeah, over the years as you get older, it changes, and I actually don't mind any type of racing. I actually enjoy it all. To be fair, it would. I'm one of those people that go, "Oh, I'd rather be out jet skiing than I would be standing on the beach." So, yes, but I have steered towards endurance of late. I do my best race, I think, at the moment, probably due to fitness. Like I enjoy stand up, and stand up is a something of mine which I've always liked, and that's where I started.
It looks like an absolute adrenaline rush, but it looks like a real energy zapper as well.
Yeah, you've got to be fit, and you know when I'm fit and when I'm not fit to ride it. So I choose accordingly, and then. But in sit down racing, I do like short course, but my favourite would be an offshore endurance.
Yep.
I love
Yep.
the waves, going out on an offshore. Closed water endurance or a big lake is good, but excuse me, my favourite is an offshore endurance.
Is that because of the challenge?
Yes,
And you've got
yes,
more like for if you can is there a way you could explain the difference with obvious reasons because the weather the water conditions would be different. From a riding standpoint, what would be the difference between a smoother closed course, closed course, sorry, and an offshore, like windy eyes kind of waves lashing everywhere kind of thing?
to do with excuse me, to do with any type of racing. Okay, to start with, when you're fit, well, in my opinion, when you're fit, you will prefer the rougher water because skill comes into it, and the same for offshore endurance. It's the skill with rougher water. When it's flat, you tend to go, oh, this is just a horsepower race. Whoever jumps on and then holds it, depending on how many corners there is, of course, then comes back into skill. But if it's a large track with very few corners and it's flat, my eyes tend to haze over and I go, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like riding, driving on a highway where you just kind of zone out a little bit on the road and then a couple of seconds later you're like, what just happened the last 5 seconds?
Yeah,
not quite and like it's that, right. But you know what I mean.
If there's high numbers, it can create a wake and a wash if it's bouncing off a wall or a shore. That can also make it very rough. Like Vichy in France was like that. Yep. Now, if it's just like a big wide open, I sort of go, oh, okay, and you'd prefer it to be a fast, rough, where you're thinking constantly, your body's adapting, moving, all little micro movements come. Now, what I've found is, and I think this comes back to a lot of stand-up riding, is, and because I predominantly was with stand-ups, but I personally find that that's one of the things that has made me a really good sit-down rider and endurance rider. And with those waves, one, I spend a lot of time at the beach, and two, when you're on your stand-up, they're smaller and nimble, and you have to counterbalance everything with your body, and it makes so much difference to what you're doing.
That's an interesting point because Bailey Cunningham said exactly the same thing. He felt it helped him with his body position and counterbalance and all that kind of stuff as well. So, yeah, I guess that would make a lot of sense. So, yep.
It becomes normal, and like I've had it before where, let's say, just take us through over the counter, a customer comes into the shop and goes, oh, my ski's not going fast. And it's like, oh, okay. And you have a look at it and there's nothing wrong with it. And you say, oh, well, let's go for a ride. And you ride it and they ride it. And like for you, it's fine. And for them, it's just not. And then you can actually get another ski the same and you can ride beside them, but you can be boat lengths ahead of them.
Yep.
And you're like, what are you doing? And it really comes down to where they put their body weight, what they're doing, where their trim setting is, all these things that comes natural to you, that you build up over the years and experience that you're adjusting. These other people are just sort of like, it used to astound me. Now I just go, rightio, let's stop back and look at some of your form, which some people don't like. They take it quite personally that they think they're just sitting on a ski and it's going to work for them, but that is not the case.
Now, Sarah Ann Tyrrell has asked a question. Have you ridden up at Redcliffe before?
Yes.
You have. She's never ridden up at Redcliffe, and obviously QPWC are racing there this weekend. So she's asking, would there be some tips that you could give to help out in that area? Hold on tight would be one probably.
No, hold on tight. Don't be scared to punch through the wave and come over the back of the wave when you're coming into shore. Now, the biggest tip I can give you when you're in a surf race like that going along the shoreline, and if I wasn't so busy and didn't have another race meeting coming up, I would definitely be going to Redcliffe because it's actually a great venue. You must pay attention when you are going along the shore, and you need to watch the waves coming towards you.
Right.
Because they will catch you side on, and they will be the ones that biff you off. Because most people are like, oh, I'm racing in a straight line, and they're there, and they're like, wee. Those waves are coming side on.
Realize.
And that is the biggest mistake that people will make in a surf event and with rolling waves coming at them.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because this is obviously round 4, the last one of the series, and the previous 3 rounds have been Atkinson's Dam and Somerset Dam, completely different conditions.
Yeah, I went to Atkinson's Dam, and that was a good fun event. I went with Scott Phillips, and I dropped the ski back to him, and we had a bit of fun there. And that was a great event as well. So it's a shame that I just simply haven't got the time this weekend.
You're a busy girl, though, Kylie. You're a busy girl. Where are you off to next?
I'm getting ready for a race in Indonesia on the 20th to the 23rd. It's a 3-day endurance event, and there's two races every day for 3 days, and they're like 35-minute heats. So six races altogether.
Oh yeah, an interesting one for you. Where about in Indonesia?
Lake Toba.
Toba. Okay, I'll need to keep an eye out. I'll have a look for that one, see if I can find it. You got a link for it? It'd be interesting to follow.
I'll share you a link with it, yes.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Are you going to King's Cup?
Yes, for sure, definitely. My ski is already in Thailand, actually, so which is fine. That's it. That makes it easier.
Okay, and do you do any officiating while you're there as well?
Not normally. I only filled in this time at Havasu for the on the Tuesday. Scott asked me if I would be a guest race director, and that's basically because obviously I do race directing in Victoria and New South Wales.
Yep.
But there was just a visa problem with one of the race directors, so I filled in that day, and then after that, my team's duties and the people I'm helping and customers was too much, and like we discussed it was only going to be for that one day because it's just not fair on other riders. You can't, as much as I can do the job, it's not a problem, but I also have a lot of friends and a lot of teams and people I work for and customers. So conflict of interest is not a good thing. And I really, being a rider and a racer myself, I try to stay clear of that.
I get that. There's always that danger in people levying the accusations that you're favouring others because of favouritism and all that kind of stuff. It can be a bit murky and messy, so I can understand you want to try and avoid that at all costs.
Absolutely. Even though, like, to be fair, things happen so quickly, you've already made the call before you've realised who it even was. But that doesn't make the person, like, no matter, even when it's myself, when I get a penalty, the first thing I turn around and go, what for? It wasn't me, so so basically I tend to do a lot of race directing in, well, all of it in Victoria, and I help them sometimes in New South Wales.
Yep.
And Victoria, I basically, like, it's where I live, but I tend to not race at all. I help them because I get it. In the last few years, I get a lot out of, I've started to enjoy teaching people, showing people, and doing that side of it. So it's a new club, and they're growing quite fast. and I've enjoyed teaching them, showing them, bringing in like other people to help. Like I've had Daz Keel and stuff like that come in to help marshalling, and just that side of it, watching people grow from nothing and get like, numbers of 30, 40 is cool. Like I enjoy it. So.
Daz did indicate when he was down at the last event that they had, it was a really well organised event, and the location was cracking. It was a cracking location. So are you aware of anything that they've got planned coming up in Victoria? I know Alex had suggested that they were working on something.
So he's trying to work on a date for February, for December, and so hopefully that will go through. And then also there is an event there in February, because I actually have my birthday in February as well, and it's my 50th, so I have a lot of people coming in. So I've suggested to Alex that if he runs an event the weekend before, we may be able to boost that event with some of the people coming in, which will make it quite a good.
Just have it the same weekend. It'll be one massive party then, Kylie.
Unfortunately, not all of my family and friends would appreciate it. Most of them would. Don't get me wrong. Used to kick around with your friends and do stuff for a week, that's for sure. So and also to Australia.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. It'd be good to see Victoria getting something up and running again. They've been quiet this year, obviously trying to build things up internally before they start a relaunch.
Oh yeah, they've got 4 events on the program for this season, this coming summer.
Nice one.
So, which is good. So, and that's and realistically, when you're holding 2-day events if you're holding 2-day events for a club which is volunteer, and you're getting 30 to 40 people, and there's a lot of work going on and organisation going into it, actually 4 events is probably what I would consider a maximum.
Yep.
Just because it's volunteer, nobody's making any money out of it, right? Like so the money's going back into equipment, and they're building everything up, and people are working with their own time and effort, so people enjoy racing. Now, if you went past that, excuse me, and I've seen it time and time again, people start to get fade away, or they start to argue because it's like, why am I doing this job all the time? And because it is simply volunteer, and people do it because they like it. Now, too many events makes you start to not like it. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
4 events. So if you were to say you were to have 4 events in Queensland, 4 events in New South Wales, 4 events in Victoria, a couple in WA, that's plenty. There's plenty for people to go to keep the volunteer, unless of course you had a promoter running it, and now that's something that's going to be looked into, and different people have opportunities. I mean, anybody has the opportunity.
Yep.
Because I myself am not a promoter, I can help with some of the things, like running an event and how it should run. But like if a promoter was making money out of it, then and somebody had the time and the effort to do it, then of course they'd run more events, because they're going to be satisfied because there's a paycheck.
They're getting some return on that. Yep, exactly. I think the biggest gripe a lot of people have got, because they volunteer their time and they feel a bit let down sometimes on the day of the events, because they don't feel they're being supported by the members. Left to do everything by themselves, or marshals having to set up things on their own without any help from anybody, or even down to holding skis and stuff like that, and packing up at the end of the day. It's like, oh well, we've got to do it ourselves. So you can see why some people do get a bit fed up of it. But
on the members' point of view, they turn up and pay.
Yeah.
They don't, so they turn up and pay. They think so why should they help? And then you get the other people. But nobody really understands the breakdown of the council permits, and like in Victoria, for example, it's nearly $3,000 for the medics and the safety marshals for that day. Not including any venue prices like the marshalling.
Exactly. Yep.
And it adds up pretty quickly. But unless the members actually are aware of the breakdown and what it costs, and nobody's actually making money, then they tend to be hesitant because they think, oh, I've paid. Then the guy that's helping and volunteering his time because he just wants to see jet ski racing happening.
Yep.
He's going, why am I taking this flack from these people?
Yeah.
So, like I say, I'll go back to as far as a volunteer goes, 4 rounds is enough. And you can, if you wanted more than that, you could travel interstate.
Yeah, exactly. And the costs are not getting any cheaper to operate either. So, as far as, even as a racer, fuel costs, mechanics, all that kind of stuff, making sure your skis running sound, it all adds up, So, yeah, pick and choose where you want to go. I think to be honest, up in Queensland, the four rounds worked out pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And, to me, I think Jamie's done a really good job stepping in there and taking over and putting in the effort in the committee.
Yeah, without a doubt, him and Dave have done a fantastic job. So well done to the pair of them. I know Marty's, Jamie's wingman, he's been kind of helping him on the behind-the-scenes stuff as well.
Yeah, that's right. And it does take a lot of work, especially starting from scratch. I've looked at how much work the Victorian clubs put in. Because, when they came to me and they were starting the club and they asked me if I would help them, I said to them, yes, I will race direct. And I had to go and have a meeting with Marine Safety Victoria. And then they came out and checked on the events to make sure they were running properly and everything like that. Now, I said to them specifically, I will help your events. I will do your race directing for you as long as I'm in the country, no problems at all. But I will not go on your committee. I am too busy. I don't. Anything you may need, that's fine. And through the shop, we do help them with, we brought them half a dozen white buoys not long ago because I saw an area where, they needed more merge buoys and things like that. So we do help them and support them. It's just that to go on another committee and things, it's like, hey, you guys need to put in the effort and run the club, and I will 100% come and help you. And it's working well. I take my hat off to those guys. They're really nice people.
Yeah. New South Wales have kind of got things back up, or look like they've got things back up and running again, which is great to see. All going well with their AGM. They should have something up for the new year, hopefully.
Yes, and definitely. And again, another great bunch of people, even their committee last year and everything. But I will go back to my sort of 4-ish events because the committee last year, and being a great bunch of people, I think they put on something like 6 events plus about 4
I think they had like a couple of training days or practice days, and then I think they had 7 rounds actually, and I think they ended up having to can the last round because there was a lack of interest on the last round.
So you say 6 rounds plus 3 or 4 training days. I mean, awesome effort, isn't it? Like
it is. Like when I saw the schedule come out, I was like, wow, that's really ambitious. And if they could pull off half of that, then they've done really well. But they actually exceeded 50% of that. So well done to them.
Well, they did about 90% of it. And I mean, my hat's off to them. The New South Wales guys on their committee are a dedicated bunch of people, and I think they get on well socially as well. And I think they didn't not have the interest, I think, for their committee, but what they had was them wanting fresh blood as well, not just the people, because they did so much. And they still want to stay and help, but they wanted other people to join them because as their club grows, it's like, hey, come on, guys, it's not just down to us.
It's not just down to us. Let's get some fresh ideas, fresh minds, and let's all work together and see where we can go.
Absolutely, and I think they've succeeded in that, which is great to see. And they stood their ground instead of saying, okay, we'll do it again. They've waited for some fresh blood.
They've waited. They took a good decision to just step back and wait and see and allow other people to step up, and they've obviously had sufficient interest. So that's been really, really good.
And you do have to entice people, because at the end of the day, we all just want to go and enjoy ourselves, go racing and have fun. and that's the end of it. So you know, yeah, but sometimes you can't enjoy it. Like I know, I mean, I know what type of work Matt puts in, and he's huge, and like if they're racing on the weekend, Mondays and Fridays, he's basically turning away work so he can get ready for the club stuff.
Yeah.
And then you take Avi, who he's got kids at race, yet he's doing race directing, so he can't even spend the time with his kids sometimes. So you do see
that's a shame. It's a shame. He's making a lot of sacrifices, as everyone is making sacrifices. So,
absolutely.
And that's what people need to understand when they complain about things, or they mump and moan about not, things a certain way or whatever. It's, you've got to understand where these people are coming from, because it's when you're not getting paid for it and you're doing it off your own back, it's a huge chunk of personal time that you're taking out of someone. So, amazing work from everybody that's involved.
Oh, exactly. And the good results are showing, because that club's kicking goals, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, so there are a few clubs around that are kicking goals, and I mean, that's where Jamie and David, they're going through the hard yards now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, New South Wales went through it years ago on the restart, and they're going and they're kicking goals now.
Yep.
Victoria's coming to that now, and then Queensland's starting to come back through, and it's got people that want to do the hard yards as well.
Yep.
So I mean, what a great way to be.
Yep, exactly. I look at New Zealand, and New Zealand have got like a heap of races going on with different clubs, and it's just like, how does everybody have the time to do it? But they're so committed to doing it. It's just like, good on them, So, and listen, I've got no doubt there'll be some teething issues that they have as well, but they seem to have a bit of a machine going. They've got things ticking over nicely.
And that's exactly right. And I mean, I still sort of go with if we can condense the amount of clubs that we have, though, like, say Australia is easier to control because we're within states, okay? Now, but in New Zealand, they've got, different associations, different clubs and things like that. And their riders are going really well, and they are going really well, which is awesome. Excuse me. But I also think if you condensed it even more, and because you get better the more people you have at a race meeting. Okay, so if you can get everybody to the same race meetings, and say you had a national tour as opposed to all these little club rounds and only one nationals,
yep,
you would get all the better riders together more often, which means then it would push you. And so my example for that is, let's look at Europe, for example. You have country after country stacked on top of each other on the same continent. Now, they go from continent to continent, and they're driving all weekend. They're in their motorhomes, whatever they do. They turn up and they go to these race meetings. Now, they have some incredible riders, and there's probably a lot of the top stand-up riders come out of Europe. Same with runabout riders if they don't come out of the UAE.
Yep.
Which is, again, a whole lot of countries stacked on top of each other, all going to each other's races.
Yep.
So if between Australia and New Zealand we could get these riders all to be going to more events together, they're excellent.
It'll raise the standard even higher.
Imagine how much better we could be by raising the standard and getting our younger generation to come through and be a lot better.
And
like
that's
that.
the key at the moment, Kylie. We need to get the younger generation coming through, and some are, but a lot of them tend to go for the stand-ups, and it's not a bad thing. At some point they'll decide they want to go on sit-downs themselves.
Absolutely.
Go on.
I started with stand-ups and then went to evolve it into runabouts. I still like stand-ups, don't get me wrong, but the younger people are better and fitter, and they are, and I'll be the first to admit that. Hey, if I'm not fit, I'm not jumping on my stand-up, because they're going to be 2 or 3 laps, and then I'm like, dog. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, because the same happened when I was younger, and so. But you got to understand that there's a class for everybody, because you need everybody at the race meeting for everybody to be there to help.
Yeah.
So if you just scaled down and only had one class of racing, as such, it's harder to get helpers, because
a lot of the people won't come. They won't come to it. Exactly. So it'll be the same people that you're getting every week in, week out. We've got just under 5 minutes left, and I'm going to have to wrap things up and shortly with you, Kylie. One question I would ask you is, if you were a beginner, what kind of advice would you give for a beginner that wants to get into racing? Now, I've asked Bobby Cardone this same question a few weeks back, and he answered it on his show. So what would you suggest?
So as such, okay, so as a beginner, like in Victoria, we have a really good beginners program. So I'm going to explain how that works to you, and then
You better be quick then.
that's not. So basically, day one on a 2-day event is beginners day, and anyone with under 3 rounds experience, you turn up. We're gonna show you a look lap, and we're gonna go through your gear, make sure you got all the equipment, everything's all good, you're safe. Okay. We're going to show you a look lap, and then we're going to send you out individually so that you know the track instead of you following someone.
Yep.
So we want to see that you can actually do the inside split, the outside split off the starts, and then we go to 2 up, and then we go to 3 up. Now, that's my preferred beginner lesson because there's no stress on you, and you're learning it and you're seeing if you're liking it. New South Wales have started last year doing training programs like that for beginners. That's my key, is that making people feel comfortable and they feel like they know how to go about it.
Bobby, Bob, go on.
Yeah, then you can see their skill, and you can say, hey, by the way, when you took that corner, because it's just one of them, you're focused on watching that person. Is it a long day for me? Yes, but is it a good day, and do they turn out to enjoy it? Yes.
They take something away from it, and that's the key. As long as they're taking, 1 or 2 things away from it, and they can build on it, then that's really the important part of it. Especially learning it from people who have been there and done it. And it's fair to say, Kylie, that you've probably been top of your game as a female rider on the international stage anyway, for quite a while. So congratulations on that bit of longevity as well. So long may that continue for you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Before you go, I always let our guests have a shout out and thank supporters and sponsors and whatever. So the screen time is yours. Fire away.
I'd like to thank Sea-Doo, Jet Tribe, Sea-Doo Centre, where I work. Team Flamingo. I race with Team Flamingo a lot around the world, so that's great. New Zealand Jet Ski Racing, Australian Jet Ski Racing, everybody that's helped me and supported me. So from there, yes.
Okay. We'll call you Jet Set Kylie.
Thanks.
All right, Kylie. Thank you very much for your time. Absolute pleasure. I've been looking forward to getting you on for quite some time, and to finally get you on has been an absolute pleasure. So thank you again.
Not a problem. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Good luck. Good luck in a couple of
Thank
weeks.
You.
All right. See ya.
Later.
So there we go. Oh, I love that. That was awesome. Great wee catch up, or a great big catch up there with Kylie. I love that one. Simon, I'm sure if Kylie was still on, I don't know if, I'm assuming you're the brother-in-law. Is it probably Kylie? Are you I don't know if Kylie will be able to answer that, but Simon, are you the only brother-in-law? Is that probably more the question? So anyway, yeah, so that was an absolute pleasure, and thank you, Kylie, for that. That was great, and I hope people managed to get something from that conversation there, or from that chat. So great stuff. Okay, so let's move on. We've got the roundups, and I haven't got a guest lined up for next week, by the way. So if anybody fancies it, we can maybe work something out and get someone on. I do have some ideas in my mind as to where I go and who we get, but if anybody fancies it, give it a go. So nice one, Kylie. Oh dear, that'll cause some that'll cause some household problems. Anyway, so right, jet ski racing New Zealand. They have a introduction to jet skiing racing up at Huntly, 4th and 5th of November coming up. So get yourself to that one. They've got their AGM this weekend as well. So good luck with that one, gentlemen, or ladies and gentlemen, sorry. So that's what's happening with them. There's a couple of things coming on in New Zealand at the moment. So let me get rid of some of this stuff. Now, what's this one we got? Wellington Jet Sport, they had something there. There we go. Round 3 of their Winter Enduros. Jet Ski Racing New Zealand, they've just finished their round. So this is Wellington Jet Sport Club. This is them finishing theirs, 4th of November as well. And if you're thereabout, get along, help out, watch, get to see what's happening. And yeah, who knows, you might want to take up the riding or even help out. So get involved, get in the sport. It's not that bad. So that's Wellington. Canterbury Jet Sports have got a little thing coming up as well. Summer Series this weekend. Yep. So I'm not entirely sure what the classes are there. It is... I don't even know where it is actually. Where is it? Let me find it. Let me see. I'm not entirely sure where that is, but if you're interested in and you're in that area, in the Canterbury area, if you're down that way, give them a buzz, drop them a message, see what they're up to, and who knows, maybe get along there, help out, even just to watch. Hopefully you get a good day for it. So that's Canterbury Jet Sports Club. And as we were discussing earlier, QPWC obviously got Redcliffe round this coming weekend on Sunday. I'm not entirely sure what the weather conditions are going to be like. I know Friday and Saturday are meant to be a bit windy and gnarly, so hopefully it's eased off for Sunday, but we'll have to wait and see. I think there is forecast for lighter winds on Sunday compared to Friday and Saturday, so we'll see how that plays out. And as I've said and as we discussed earlier, we have AGM for the Committee for New South Wales coming up. It's tomorrow night actually, 7 o'clock. And these, let's see if I can get that up and see if people can see it. Maybe a bit bigger. Move that over a little bit. So there's the lineup, proposed lineup. I'm not sure if there's anyone else standing for positions. At the moment, that's what it looks like. So if it's unopposed with each position, then I would imagine those names will carry forward into those positions. Otherwise, should be pretty straightforward. We'll find out tomorrow night after they've had their meeting. So good luck with that one, gentlemen, and hopefully it goes off without any issues. Should be good. And like I say, Queensland this weekend, Bells Beach up at Redcliffe, Clontarf. It's actually the first open water round of the year, and it'll probably likely be the only round of the year, just simply because of time constraints and that. So that's coming up. There is still some time if you're in the Queensland, if you're a rec rider or just someone that's looking for something to do, and you fancy racing. Entries are still open. Go to the QPWC page. Links are all there. The website's up and running after some teething issues. So you can get there and have a look at what's going on, get entered and get involved. Don't be afraid. Come up, give it a go, ask questions, get to know the people. Come up and help out if you don't want to ride. Hold some skis. Come up and photograph. Take some videos. Do whatever. Hang out with some great bunch of people. And hopefully we get a good, nice day's racing. So last one of the year at the moment. So fingers crossed we can it goes out in a blaze of glory for 2023. Hopefully, unless they've got something else lined up for later in the year. But let's make it a good one. Okay, so let's get in it to win it, and let's get involved. All right, so I'll hopefully see you all on Sunday. Okay, so rec ride. What's been happening lately? Not a great deal. Weather conditions have been a bit gnarly over the past couple of days. There was Jet Ski Jake did have a pop-up ride planned for today, but his ski was in getting fixed. He didn't get it back until the afternoon, so he ended up calling that off. But that was really just going to be a run around up inside the Broadwater, stay away from as much of the bad weather as possible, out on the open side and on the bay. So yeah, it's been a bit quiet there. Let's see what else is going on. Jet ski riders, Gold Coast and Brisbane. Again, it's been really quiet. Guys, that question there about mobile mechanics, there are a couple. Check the groups, ask the questions. I know Watercraft Works, there's Jet Powered. I believe there's a couple more as well. But ask the questions. Don't be afraid to go to these groups and ask the question. There is no such thing as a bad question. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to go on these pages, message me. I'll get you the answers. Okay, I'll reply to your post. So that's that. Personally, on my side of things, I've got a couple of things going up. Just for everybody's information, we ran a special on T-shirts at a couple of weekends ago. $35 T-shirts for a print, what I call our global community T-shirt. Now these ones here are designs that were requested by people who have got them. So let me just let you see that one. That's already on its way to, two of them are already on its way to New Zealand. We've got a couple heading our way to the Gold Coast, and we've got a couple heading up to Brisbane as well. So we've got some. There's also one away to, I've actually got another one away to Europe as well. To Europe, and another one also away to New Zealand as well, which I don't have pictures of here at the moment. And I've ordered this little bad boy for myself. So that's what I'll be wearing that, because that's my hometown. So they're still on offer, $35 for a print on the front. If you want a double print front and back, it's $45, and that's shipped to your door as well. Okay, there's a bunch of colours available, male and female. So if you want to hit me up, drop me a message, let me know what design you want, what name you want, what town you want, what country you want, and I'll fix you up with it. Okay, so that's that. And the big one for me is this coming weekend. I had the honour of Queensland Surfing approach me to stream the Australian Open of Surfing on the 28th of this weekend, the 28th of October, this coming Saturday. The event will be up at Alex Head's Corner, which I believe is the point. It's a little bit sheltered. It was meant to be somewhere else, but because of the weather forecast, it's meant to be quite windy. So I don't even know how it's going to be for me. I've been assured it will be sheltered, but yeah, I won't know until I get there on the morning. But this is going to be a big one for me, massive event for me as far as the streaming for Jet Ski Republic's concerned. If you're at a loss and you're looking for something, you're interested to see what's going on. It's a local event, new talent. It will be streamed live from 7:30. You need to go to the Surfing Queensland Facebook page. It will be streamed on their platform. It won't be streamed on any Jet Ski Republic platforms. Okay, so it's purely Surfing Queensland that will stream this on their Facebook page only. All right, so that's one event for you. Now that's it for this week. This weekend, like we've said, the weather is going to be a bit gnarly, and let's be safe. Let's be sensible. If it looks bad, stay safe. Don't go out. Don't risk it. If you're going to go out, try and go in numbers, and then that way, hopefully, everybody takes care of each other. But let's be safe. Let's be sensible, and let's be respectful of others on the water. Okay, so whatever you're up to this coming weekend, be safe, have fun, and take care. Next week, we'll see you at 7 o'clock.